StarLink Battle for Atlus. Trump calls Stormy Daniels Horseface. And new flavors of Japanese ice cream have hit Tokyo. I go by the name of Johnny Massacre, and you're witnessing the Johnny Massacre Show. StarLink Battle for Atlus. This is a new video game coming out very soon. I didn't even know about it because I've been out the loop for a little while, but it's kind of significant because it's the only original IP coming out around this time. I am a person who doesn't like sequels too much. All right, 2 or 3, fair enough for video games, but past that, I get bored. How many incarnations of Mario can we take? Or any other game like Call of Duty? It's safe, money in the bank, cash cow business. And I yearn for something new because at one point these games were new and that's what made them amazing. But we settle for less because there's so many sequels. This sequel culture has been normalized and there is a game trying to buck the trend. Let's hope it's good and successful, or we're just going to see more and more and more sequels. So it's called StarLink Battle for Atlus. It all sounds very mysterious. I want to read you a little bit about this game if you haven't heard about it from gamesindustry.biz. When it comes to major AAA titles, this Christmas is one of the noisiest in years in recent memory. At the top end, there's Red Dead Redemption 2. Can't wait for that. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Those games were so shit. This one got good reviews. Is this a good game? Call of Duty Black Ops. Fucking hell, what's that? Looks like they've written 4 with the wrong Roman numerals. Fallout 76, Battlefield, the usual sports contenders as well. And then there's Spyro, Hitman 2, Just Cause 4, Lego DC Supervillains, and that's before the Nintendo doubleheader of Super Smash Bros. And Pokemon. It's true, there's way too many sequels. Wake up, people. Wake up. Well, look, there's not going to be a massive change of people not buying sequels just because they want to see more original content. It is what it is. It's like the movie industry and the music industry, just more of the same shit. Money in the bank, not adventurous at all. It's a lineup that most retailers would be salivating over, but it's also, dare we say, a little boring. Yes, I'm totally with you. Christopher Dring, who wrote this article. Some of those titles are trying new things, whether it's the multiplayer component in Fallout, the RPG elements in Assassin's Creed, or the motion mechanics in Pokemon. So he's giving these sequels a bit of credit. He goes on, but these are still products built on very familiar foundations. Where are the brand new ideas, the spark of creativity that will inspire the market as we head into the festive period? Well, there is one interesting thing. Nestled between Call of Duty and Red Dead Redemption is Ubisoft's StarLink, a new kids property created over 5 years by a 100-person development team using the Toys to Life concept that has been abandoned by Activision, Warner Brothers and Disney. StarLink is an open-world space exploration and combat game where players obtain real physical ship models and attach them to their controllers. Users can remove parts from the models, namely wings and weapons, and attach different ones, and these changes are then recreated on screen. So that's an interesting way to monetize the game. I think they're going to be lagging behind the whole microtransaction world because that really is the way to monetize at the moment. Do you know how much fucking money Fortnite made in the month of May alone or something, or a recent month? It was, I can't remember what month, but it was a recent month. Fortnite generated $300 million in a fucking month, and it generates over $100 million every fucking month. So while the idea of attaching some plastic toy to your controller is a very nice way to monetize on paper, tangible things like paper are just not hot anymore. So I think this is probably doomed to fail, but what do I know? Anything with Nintendo can surprise you. They've had a lot of novel hardware over the years, and they obviously inspire developers to make novel games. So who knows? Don't want to judge it too much before I actually see it. So I've never seen this shit before, and I'm really actually very excited about watching the trailer for StarLink Battle for Atlus. Let's watch it together. Here we go.
Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today it is finally time to review StarLink Battle for Atlus for the Nintendo Switch. This review was originally written by the lovely Dom Reese Lincoln and has been adapted for video by me. But anyway, I've got an awful lot to do today, so let's not waffle any longer and dive right into things.
This music is from the original Star Fox. This is very nostalgic. Wow, those graphics are pretty good, man. Loving that art style. God, this is really reminiscent of the old Star Fox games. This is just genius.
It takes guts to try and revive a dormant genre, especially one that burned bright in the zeitgeist before extinguishing itself just as quickly. Activision and Harmonix tried.
These graphics are delicious. Look at those pinks and greens, one of my favourite colour combos.
A resurgent rhythm action craze never found the spark it needed. And yet here we are in 2018 with a new Toys to Life game from Ubisoft of all people. With Disney Infinity and LEGO Dimensions now banished to bargain bins all over the world, and Skylanders on an indefinite hiatus that's seemingly destined to endure the same fate, in swoops StarLink Battle for Atlus with its plastic weapons and modular ships. But while Skylanders always struggled to feel like a proper action RPG experience beyond the gimmick of its expensive peripherals, StarLink's use of NFC-chipped spaceships doesn't define it. In fact, the need to rely on physical items is entirely optional, but the different versions available for purchase do somewhat muddy the waters regarding what you actually get. The starter pack, for example, only allows you to play as 2 pilots, thankfully one of those...
Okay, already I'm losing interest because I don't want to have to worry about buying different weird plasticky bits for my controller. This is obviously for kids. This looks a bit like Destiny with these hit points and stuff flying off the characters when you hit them, but they are trying to do something different with the shooter concept. So this is quite a significant game in that it is its original content. So I hope this is good because I don't want to see so many sequels. I want to see developers making original games because at one point all of our favourite games were, of course, original. Now, in other news, Stormy Daniels is getting it hard from Trump. Trump has called her a horseface, which I find rather amusing. Let's have a look at some of Trump's comments about Stormy. This is just brilliant. So US President Donald Trump has mocked porn actress Stormy Daniels in a tweet after a judge dismissed her defamation lawsuit against him. So she is what everyone thought she was. She's just a whore and she wants some money, and so she's just doing this for money. It's so obvious. She's got money for sex her whole life, and then recently she's tried to play a victim and tried to come across as someone of good moral standing and paint Trump as the bad guy, but really she fucked the guy for money back in the day, so she can't really say any shit against him. She's the trashy one and she's just your typical porn star. The article on the BBC continues. The judge ruled that a presidential tweet Miss Daniels said was defamatory was protected by the First Amendment, which guarantees freedom of speech. So this is a victory for freedom of speech. This is just awesome. No one should be arrested for thought crimes. So I'm very happy about this. Mr. Trump said he can now go after Horseface and a third-rate lawyer. That must be that. I can't remember his name, but he's the guy. What's his name? Mike Avenatti or something? Avenatti, yeah. Mike Avenatti. He's her creepy lawyer, and he's just such a scumbag. He loves the spotlight. He knows how to work the media quite well, and he's just taking on any case left, right, and centre in order to make a buck. They are a match made in heaven, Avenatti and Stormy Daniels Horseface. The article continues. The ruling does not affect a separate lawsuit over hush money. She says she was paid by Mr. Trump's lawyer, so she accepted the money to be quiet, but now the money's run out. Miss Daniels was also ordered to pay Trump's legal fees, which is just delicious. Although the amount is yet to be determined, her lawyer said she would appeal against the decision. Trump just loves this. Trump tweeted, federal judge throws out Stormy Daniels lawsuit versus Trump. Trump is entitled to full legal fees, quoting Fox News. Great, now I can go after Horseface and a third-rate lawyer in the great state of Texas. Wow, double word score. You bigged up Texas at the same time, a state in which Trump's very popular. That is just Trump at his best. She will confirm the letter she signed. She knows nothing about me. Total con. And then Stormy replied, ladies and gents, may I present your president. In addition to his shortcomings, he has demonstrated his incompetence, hatred of women, and lack of self-control on Twitter again, and perhaps a penchant for bestiality. Game on, Tiny. I mean, this is just... You can see why this woman is trying to wrongly sue Donald Trump. She is antagonistic. She is desperate. She's aggressive. Oh, wow. She's a real piece of work. Donald, why did you stick your D in there? But that's what you get if you fuck around with porn stars. What do you expect? Ladies like this who've got sleazy guys always throwing money at them are just going to be trouble. It's going to go to their heads. Wow. So this is just amazing. The President of the United States attacking a porn star, calling her Horseface, and she's talking about his small penis. That was a vicious attack by Stormy. Trump hasn't replied about it, and bestiality as well. But this is she's done herself a disservice by saying he has a hatred of women, because if any woman starts crying about sexism and so on these days, I'd say there's a very good chance that they're just playing the victim, and that's a very sad indictment of the world today and what liberal politics has done to it, because so many women have cried wolf now, trying to use the whole feminism and misogyny tactic to back people down in an argument wrongly. So many women have done that and cried wolf that when women do it, like Stormy Daniels in the media, we question what they're saying, and we shouldn't be when we're talking about things like that. So she's just betrayed her motivations as a typical leftist harpy there. So I just thought that was some fun news for today. And finally, new flavors of Japanese ice cream have hit Japan. So I always talk about random food on the Johnny Massacre show, especially Japanese foods, as a food lover myself. Although it's a little ironic because I don't eat sweets, but I guess I can live vicariously through you, my viewers, when you salivate over things like this. So look at this bizarre flavor. We've got Azuki and Koromitsu. Azuki is a red bean. Azuki was the precursor to chocolate in Japan. Japan made a lot of amazing shit, sushi, udon, ramen, all that kind of stuff, but their sweets were severely lacking, and Azuki, I'm not a fan. It's like a poor man's welfare chocolate. It's what you'd have if you hadn't been smart enough to invent chocolate, and the Japanese hadn't at that point. And so, yeah, have you ever had red bean? It definitely doesn't go down well with Westerners. This is purely aimed at the Japanese market, and it's interesting because Cold Stone, it must be an American company, and they're really, really going for the Japanese market. They've hired a team to make something specifically for the Japanese market and no one else. Koromitsu, I don't know. Kuro means black. Mitsu, I only know Yoshimitsu from Tekken. I should know. So look at that. It's a small bite-sized ice cream. That actually looks quite tantalizing. Looks quite interesting. As for the Kuro, I am completely stumped. Oh, it's sweet brown sugar syrup. So that's another old school Japanese sweet. So just read you a little bit. It's now on sale. And shiratama are bite-sized dumplings made of sticky mochi rice cake. And zenzai refers to a traditional Japanese dessert made with sweet red azuki beans. Together, those give the frozen treat a soft and chewy center. The outer layer, meanwhile, is crisp chocolate with kuromitsu, sweet brown sugar syrup, flavoring, and bits of almond. Separating the dessert shell and core is a stratum of creamy vanilla ice cream made with milk from Hokkaido. Milk from Hokkaido, northern part of Japan, is good because it's very cold, the cows are fat, and the milk is rich. So there you go, just $2.20. Come to Japan, you can experience all these bizarre, esoteric desserts. So we are running out of time very fast. As for my life, what is going on in my life? Well, there's no time for that intro. I'm now going to apply for my permanent visa. I got all these documents. I was up till 5 a.m., slept 2 hours and a half, but 2 hours of sleep will not prevent me from delivering the Johnny Massacre show. At the end of every show, we have to decide whether we're going to the light side or the dark side. We have to decide whether we're finishing on a positive note or a negative note. Today, light side. I don't know if I'm going to get this permanent visa, but if I do, it will mean a lot to me. I've been in Japan for 10 years, and it will just give me license to do whatever the fuck I want, basically. And that is a positive thing. So, fingers crossed, people. I went by the name of Johnny Massacre, and you've been witnessing the Johnny Massacre show.